Assalamu alaikum friends, I'm Samin Yasarano, a front-end engineer with 5+ years of experience, and today we are kicking off a brand new series where we solve real-world in front-end interview problems the kind companies actually ask in coding rounds. As we are starting with something super common but tricky to get right, the OTP input component. You have probably seen it 100 times in apps, but how do you build one from scratch, especially in a time-limited interview? So here's where I come in. I'll just explain it to you with simple words and I'll just code it live alongside you all, and I'll break down the problem the way interviewers expect, structuring the component the smart way, managing focus, keyboard events, and edge cases, and writing clean scalable React code. So by the end of this video, you won't just know how to build this, you'll understand the thought process that helps you stand out in interviews. So grab your favorite drink, open up your code editor, and let's build one line of code at a time. So let's get started to the video. Moving on to the screen. Okay, so let's start off with this document. So this is the question that was asked to me while I was interviewing for a machine coding round for a remote company. Okay, so I'll just read it out for you and then just move on to the coding part. Okay, so some things that I want to mention beforehand is that machine coding rounds can be really intimidating. So obviously when you are in a verbal technical interview, so that is a different thing, and when you have to write code in front of an interviewer and you have to explain it to him while writing it, or like talk through the edge cases, so that's a different ballgame. So normally in a machine coding round there it might be of 1 hour or 1.5 hour depending on the company, but normally it's around 1 hour. So for this kind of a question, it's basically labeled as easy question. You might get 20 to 30 minutes. So the first thing that you have to do after getting the problem statement is you have to go through the problem statement line by line thoroughly and ask your interviewer questions regarding your problem statement, because in some cases that I have seen, I have faced, and even I have spoken to other people also, like the expectations of the interviewers are something and the problem statement is something else. I mean, it's relevant, but they expect something beyond only the problem statement. So first go through the problem statement and ask relevant questions, clarify basically questions with your interviewer, like what he or she is expecting. So I'll just go through this. So yeah, create an OTP input component using React. The OTP should be entered 1 digit per input box. Okay, the focus should auto move as the user types or deletes, and the component should support pasting a full OTP. It should also reject any non-numeric characters. Okay, so the constraints and edge cases, only numeric input is allowed. Okay, so only 1 2 3 these kind of digits are allowed. If a box is empty and the backspace key is pressed, move the focus to the previous box. Okay, okay, that's a normal thing. Okay, let's come to this part. So about the requirements, create a component that renders n input boxes. Okay, the input boxes, the number isn't mentioned. Okay, this is a key thing that you have to this is a detail that you have to look into. So each accepting only one numeric digit. Okay, automatically move focus to the next input when a digit is entered. So when I'm entering a digit, it will move to the next input. Okay, automatically move the focus to the previous input when the backspace key is pressed on an empty field. Okay, so this is what. Okay, disallow any non-numeric inputs. That means I cannot provide any ABCD strings or something. Okay, so this is the problem statement. So before starting to write code, I'll just briefly show you something about the OTP component, for example this one. Okay, the hero UI here, I can show you the OTP value, OTP component. So here, see, if I type 1, it moves to the next input. If I type 2, it moves to the second input, 3, and so on. And if I press backspace, yeah. So this is the kind of functionality that I have to build. The people who are not aware what an OTP is, I'll just, I mean, you should, go to these websites and obviously go through these things to know what an OTP is. You have to study. Obviously, as you are seeing this video right now, I'm assuming that you already know what an OTP is and are eager to learn how to implement it. Okay, that's that. So what I'll do is, so first of all, okay, yeah, another thing, like the interviewer might ask you to code it in Code Sandbox, or you can code it locally in your VS Code editor also, or any other editor that you like code all the time. So what I'll be doing is I'll be focusing on VS Code, because obviously in real life scenarios you'll be using a code editor to code in your day-to-day tasks. So I'll just start off by creating a Vite application. So I have already named the project. So okay, yeah, so it would be a React project, and I'm selecting JavaScript. But if the interviewer wants you to do it in TypeScript, you should definitely do it in TypeScript and React. But I'm just showing you a generic kind of an OTP input, so I'm choosing JavaScript. Yeah, so it's done. I'll just install my dependencies here. Okay, I have installed my dependencies, and now I can run the server. Okay, so if I run the server, yeah, so my project is running. So first of all, I have to do some cleanup. I'll have to do a little bit of cleanup here. Yeah, so I don't need these assets. I don't need this. I don't need this also. I can get rid of this. From here, I don't need anything. I'll just delete everything. Okay, I'll just take a div here, and provide name OTP input. Okay, so this is the name. Okay, I have to remove this also. Removed. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just provide a class name here, app, and provide app text align center, font family sans serif. Yeah, so this is our starting point. Okay, so I'll start from here onwards. Okay, so what should be the first thing that I have to do? I'll have to create a component that renders n input boxes. Okay, see, so when it is mentioned n input boxes, that means it's time for you to go to the interviewer and ask him questions like, does he want it to be a dynamic input, or does he want it to be static or something? So you have to ask this question in the first place. So obviously if you want it to be a dynamic one, then you'll have to pass props, or you can use a state also for the dynamic purpose. So I'll just start off by doing the static sort of thing. So okay, create a component that renders n input boxes, each accepting only one numeric digit. Okay, so only one numeric digit. Okay, okay, so what I'll do first is I'll take an input box. I'll just okay, 6 input boxes, and I'll just take a constant OTP length, the length of OTP. I'll give 6 as I have taken 6, so I'll give 6. Okay, then what I'll do is, yeah, so the length of this is 6 and I have taken 6 input boxes. Yeah, so you can see my input boxes. So obviously first what I'll do is I'll just take I'll not do it like this because it's not a efficient way. I'll just loop through the length of this length and like then render the inputs. So what I'll do is OTP array, I'll take an array, set OTP array, I'll take a use state, and here I'll take an array. Okay, yeah, so as I don't have anything here, any number or anything, it's just a blank array. So what I'll do is I'll just take a new array. I'll take a new array and provide the length. I'll just provide the length here and give fill. So what I'm doing here is I'm just constructing a new array with this length. I'm providing the parameter, this one, with the length and just filling it with empty strings. Okay, so just to show it to you, I just have to loop through it. OTP array map, just have to map. So I'll name the inputs as digit and index. I'm taking the index because I have to provide the key. Okay, so I'm returning an input, what's going on? Oh, sorry, I'm returning an input and I'm providing the key as index, and the value, I have to bind this digit as the value. Yeah, so I have done it, but obviously I cannot see anything. Why is that? Let me see, why cannot I see anything? Why can't I see anything? What's the matter? To return it. Yeah, so I returned it, so I can see the value now. So obviously this looks ugly. So what I'll do is I'll just take a class name, OTP input, taking a class name, and I'll just provide OTP input. I'll just provide a width of 40 pixel, height of 40 pixel. Okay, this looks nice. And what can I do here? I can provide a margin, obviously margin 10px. Oh my god, 5px. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, so this is okay. So font size, I have to, font size is less, I think. Font size 25. Okay, I cannot check. Okay, in order to check it if it's working fine, I'll have to provide an on change here. On change. So in the on change, I'll take an event and handle on change. I'm taking a function handle on change and providing the e.target.value, I mean the value that I'll provide here, and index also. I'll just take this also. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just write handle on change here. Okay, this is the value. I'm taking the value, I'm taking the index. Okay, okay, so now I can check like if I'm getting anything, the value of index, what I'm getting. If I write something, if I write something 1, then 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm getting the values, just I have to, you know, put it here. I mean, append the array, append it into the array. So what I'll do here is, okay, as I have taken the index, so I'll just have to, you know, catch the index and like then move it, I mean set the array. Okay, so what I can do here is I can take a new array, and obviously if I want to, you know, do some operation in this array, I have to make a copy because arrays are passed by reference, so I cannot mutate it directly. So what I'll do here is I'll just make a copy of it, new array, and then do the operations in this array. So if you don't know what this is, then please do check it out. I mean, Google it, or you can read about it. Rest and spread operator, do read about it. It's very important. As a JavaScript developer, you should know this. So go check it out if you don't know what this does. Okay, so I've taken the array, and now what I'll do is I'll just take this array and provide the index. I'll just provide the index, and so for the new array, for example, if I'm pressing something here, so this is the 0th index. So in the new array, I'm targeting the 0th index, for example, and like providing this. So it should work, and obviously I have to set my OTP array with the new array. Okay, so if I now go and write 1, 2, 3, 4, it's working, it's coming. Why is it like this? Okay, let me make it text align center. Yeah, this looks nice. Okay, so going back to this, create a component that renders n input boxes, each accepting only one numeric digit. Okay, so I have made that, but with you know, constant. So in order to make it dynamic, what you can do is, you can obviously, it's a component, so what you can do is you can pass it using a prop. So I can say OTP length equal to, I'm just providing a default value here, and like providing this here, and this. Yeah, so you just have to, you know, when you are providing the prop, if you provide 4, it would be 4. If you provide, you know, if you provide 4, it would be 4. If you provide 6, it would be 6. Yeah, so in a machine coding round of interview, you should always focus on making a component generic, obviously, because in normal language, I would say you have to make it reusable. If you're already working in the industry and know these sort of you know, language, then obviously you know what I'm talking about. You have to make the components reusable, that resonates, I mean that creates a very good impression. So always try to make it generic. I'll just try to make it generic as much as I can. Okay, so if I go here, create a document component that runs n input boxes, each accepting only one numeric digit. Okay, only one numeric digit. Okay, but it is accepting more than one. Okay, so what I can do here is I'll just take the last one that I, you know, that I input. For example, the 2, I'll take 2. So what I can do here is I can trim this value and provide slice. Provide a slice here. So slice, what slice does is it also basically makes a copy of it, and then -1 means it targets the last digit. So if I write now 1, then I'm writing 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's working. So it's getting the last digit, you can see. Okay, cool. So it's working now. Yeah, so this part is done. So moving on to the next one, automatically move focus to the next input when a digit is entered. Okay, so what I have to do is when I'm entering something, it should automatically focus on this part. Okay, so in order to like implement this functionality, we have to use useRef. It is also another hook like the useState. It's a React hook, so it's basically used for manipulating the DOM. And as this one is immutable, useRef directly manipulates the DOM, so it's mutable. Okay, so as it's a hook, I have to write it on the top always. It's the best practice. So I'll take useRef. As this one is an array, so I'll have to give the initial value of useRef as array. Okay, yeah, and then what I'll do here is I'll take a ref here. So for an input, you always have to, if you want to do focus or this kind of stuff directly, you have to, if you want to manipulate the DOM, then there is a property called ref. So here in ref, what I'll do here is I'll take the inputs ref dot current. So what useRef does is it provides a current property. It's an object property. So I'll just take the current inputs from the inputs ref. I'll take the current property, and here I'll provide the index that I'm getting from here. I'm doing this because I want to see each one of them. As I'm providing the index, I want to track each one of them which is getting focused on. So what I'll do here is I'll provide this. So let me be more generic. This would be element. So this is also element. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to here. I'm not only move focus to the next input when a digit is entered. Okay. So I have to, like, when I input something, so I'll have to move it to here. So what I can do here is when I'm if there is a value, if I'm providing a value, then obviously after providing the value, what I can do here is I can take the current and provide the index. So if the index is 0, if this is 0, then I'll have to move towards the right. I mean, I have to increment it. So index plus 1. So I have to focus on it. So this should work. Let's see. So I'm just incrementing the index, so it should, when I'm pressing something here, it should go to the right. So let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, nice, isn't it? Okay, so it's working now. Okay, so automatically move focus to the next input when a digit is entered. So this is also done. So let's move to this one. Automatically move the focus to the previous input when the backspace key is pressed on an empty field. Okay, so I'll have to do the reverse kind of a thing. If I press backspace, then I have to remove this, remove this and come to this. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is when I'm refreshing the page, it should automatically focus on the first input. So how can we achieve that? You can ask the interviewer if he or she wants this kind of functionality. So if actually in my interview the interviewer told me, like, can you do that? So I told yes, I can. So what I did was, obviously you can take a use effect. This is another hook, and this is a special hook because it handles side effects. So if you are familiar with the life cycle of React, so it the use effect handles most of the life cycles. If you know the class-based component lifecycle, so you can go read it up, and obviously it handles side effects, so it's a very handy hook. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just providing a dependency array here. So an empty dependency array means like it will only uh, load once initially. So obviously you have to, when you are writing code in an interview, you always should explain these things also, so that the interviewer knows, like gets to know that you have the knowledge depth. So that would be an edge for you, because everyone can code, but a lot of people are out there don't have the core concepts. They don't know like how things are working behind the scenes. Okay, so I've taken a use effect, and here what I can do here is I'll just do the same thing here. I'll just do the same thing here, but instead of doing this, I'll just focus on the 0th index, because this is the first one. See, so now it's working. It's focusing on the first input. Okay, so that was an extra sort of thing. Okay, let's get back to automatically move the focus to the previous input when the backspace key is pressed. Okay, so what I can do here is I can see on key up. There is a property on key up. What it does is it basically takes, it's basically similar to this one on change. It takes the event. Okay, so I'll write a function handle on key up, and I'll provide the event and I'll provide the index, because obviously I need the index as it's an array, so I always need the index to identify which element is it or which input box is it. Okay, so let's write it down. Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'll just move this to the top. So yeah, I'll just write handle on key up. And okay, so here what I'll do is, let me console first just to be sure what is happening here. Okay, so when I'm pressing a key, for example if I'm pressing space, I'm getting code. Okay, so if I'm entering backspace, so I'm getting the code back here. So what I can do here is I'll just check if the code e.code is backspace, then I'll just do something. Okay, so what I can do here is if e.code is equal to backspace. So what I'll do here is I'll just just copy this, paste it, and just, I think this should work. I'm just decrementing it. Let's see. Okay, 1 2 3 4, backspace. Yeah, so I'm deleting everything. Okay, so is it okay? Automatically move the focus to the previous one when the backspace is pressed on an empty field. Okay, so if not a value, as it's talking about an empty field, not sorry, e dot target dot value. So if there isn't any value and backspace, so I think this should work. It's basically working in the same manner. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so automatically move the focus to the previous input. So this is also done. So going back to the last one, disallow any non-numeric input. Okay, so I can provide ABCD. Okay, I can provide this ABCD. So I have to restrict it. So what I can do here is uh, I can I can use a is nan, like not a number, or I can use a regex. I can use regex also. So let's see if I can do it with the regex. Okay, regex. Mm, so this is the basic scaffold of a regex. It starts with this caret, I think, and ends with dollar this, and in the middle you can write anything you want. So I'll just write d star, like, okay. So if it is not a value, I mean not a numeric, then return return. Okay. So this, what it does is it accepts only numbers, or does not accept non-numeric values. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, let's check now. A, B, C, D. Okay, I'm just providing everything. A, B, C, D, F, G, H. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, A, B, C, D. Yeah. So as you can see, I can only provide numeric numbers, I mean digits, normal number digits, but no alphabetical things, not even dollar, no dollars or anything. Yeah, so this is working also. And just wanted to tell you something, like even very good senior developers also don't know regex. So I just know some of it. I mean, it's tough to know all of them, but I mean, I know the little expressions. So yeah, that's why I'm able to write it down here. You can use if is nan also here. That would also do the, do justice to this code. Okay, so is there anything left? No, I have already implemented everything. Another thing, if you come to think of it, it's just coming to the top of my mind. What if I can, like, press the right arrow key and it would just shift to the right, and then left arrow key it would shift to the left. I can do that also. Like, you can ask your interviewer if you can do those sort of things, then I think he would be interested if there is time. So I'll just implement it as well for you all. Okay, so I'll just do it here. Code backspace. So okay, what I'll do is I'll just provide the right arrow right. If e dot code equal to arrow right, so if I'm providing the right one, what I'll do is I'll focus to the right. So if I'm pressing the right arrow, yeah, it's moved to the right. Let me check for clearance. Okay, yeah, it's working. Okay, so for left also I can write something like arrow right, left. I think arrow left. Is it arrow left? Is it arrow left? Yeah, arrow left. So here I can decrement it. I think it should work. Let's check. So right, left, left. Yeah, nice. It's working fine now. Yeah, so I have implemented everything that was needed. yeah, so that's about it. Hope you liked the video. I think I have clearly explained everything that needs to be done or needed to be done to justify this video. But still, if you did find any mistakes in my code, or if you have any constructive feedback, do let me know. Obviously, I'm just starting out, so I might have missed some things, and obviously there would be a lot of videos regarding machine coding round interviews, a lot of difficult topics. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just starting out with easy topics first, then I'll move on to medium and hard topics as we go along. So obviously I just want to teach you. Have any uh, I don't have any intention of just I don't have any intention basically to make money or something. I'm just here to give back to the community what I have gotten from them, and I just want to be the senior that I wish I had when like going through my journey. So yeah, I'll post weekly or post 2 videos weekly. I'll try to post at least 1 or 2. Let's see what happens. Do comment down below and let me know how did you like the solution, and do if you have any other topics that you want me to cover, not only machine coding rounds. If you want me to cover other things like system design, or in-depth React stuff or JavaScript stuff, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll provide the code, the GitHub code or the code sandbox code, link in the description. And yeah, see you soon. Practice hard. Happy coding, one line at a time. Assalamu alaikum.